All right, so I want to do a little bit of a different video today because a lot of people ask me, hey, how do I farm this stuff in PvE? Because I'm mostly a PvP player. So today what I want to do is I wanted to put together a simple, easy to put together PvE build for you. It's not going to be like your top tier end game meta that's going to get you through all the trifectas and all the trials, but it's going to be enough to be able to help you at that surface level that gets you really, really strong. Because at the end of the day, I do think this is really good, and I think this could probably clear this can clear most dungeons of the game. I think that this is a very strong build, so I hope that you guys enjoy. This is a very beginner build, like I said. So like I said, don't be too hard on me. So it is a Khajiit Arcanist at base. Why is my camera frozen? Hello? Dude, I'm trying to record a video. Can you not freeze like that? Like, okay. Anyways, that was weird. We are a Khajiit Arcanist at base because Khajiit is going to give you that extra little bit of a crit damage in the passives, and crit damage is kind of best in slot, in my opinion, as far as PvE damage goes. So definitely Khajiit. We've got 6 points into health and then 58 points into stamina. I just wanted to give myself a little bit of health. That way I'm kind of I can survive a hit a little bit. 20k isn't that much, but you know, I still wanted to give it that much regardless. So also Shadow Mundus is going to be our Mundus. My cam keeps freezing. You know what, guys? Sorry, we're doing the rest of this without cam. I'm not doing this over and over again. So if we're going to be doing Shadow Mundus to increase our overall critical damage, critical healing, all that stuff, Shadow Mundus is definitely the way to go for this, and definitely the way to go for all PvE builds, in my opinion. We've got one piece Slimecron here. It's going to be a light helmet in Divines. All of our enchantments on our entire body is going to have max stamina enchantments on it, by the way. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Oh, before we get to that, actually, I'm sorry, before I forget, we're going to be using Lava Foot as our food. It's going to increase our max stamina. It's also going to increase our stamina recovery as well. So make sure you're using that. And then potions, I've got both of the Alliance potions, just depending on which one you're low on. That's kind of the one that I use. I don't know if that's what's really popular amongst the PvE community, but it's kind of what I use. I also have tripods on retainer just in case too. So, you know, just in case. Yeah. So, like I said, Slimecraw, the one piece is going to give you a bunch of extra crit chance. So our crit chance just at base right here is basically 60%, which is pretty solid. You're hitting really hard, really often. So we really like it. Moving on, we also have our Shoulders of Order's Wrath. It's going to be medium Divines with a stamina enchantment on it, like I said earlier. Order's Wrath is really good for this because it's going to give you a bunch of crit chance, a little bit of weapon and spell damage, and the 5-piece is going to increase your critical damage and critical healing by 8%. So that is amazing. Definitely recommend that. I highly recommend this for your overall damage. It's great for your crit percentage. It's not the best in slot choice. Like, you probably want to go in the long run as you go on. You want to just have a set that comes from a trial. That way you can get Minor Slayer on one of your builds. But for now, as a starter build, I think that this is very, very, very solid. So again, Order's Wrath, medium Divines. Everything's going to be in Divines, by the way. Everything's going to be Divines. Everything's going to be max stamina enchantment. So just keep that in mind. Also, we have our medium chest piece of Order's Wrath, Divines, with a stamina enchantment on it. I'm not really going to go over that again. So hands, Order's Wrath, Divines. Waist, Order's Wrath, Divines. And then our feet are going to be Order's Wrath Divines as well. And then our legs are going to be medium Deadly Divines as well. Deadly gives you 2 lines of weapon and spell damage, increases your critical chance, and then also increases your damage done with damage over time abilities and channeled attacks by 15%. So Deadly is a very solid option for this. It's one of the best choices in PvE in general, because a lot of your abilities are going to be damage over time, and a lot of your abilities are going to be channeled attacks as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you're using this. It's very solid. Order's Wrath is definitely the replaceable set here. Deadly is still very much endgame in this scenario. And so moving on, we're also going to be using 2 Deadly Rings. Both are going to be Bloodthirsty with weapon and spell damage enchantments on it. Bloodthirsty is the way to go for PvE because it's going to increase your weapon and spell damage by enemies that are under 90% health by up to 350. So as the enemies get lower health, the more damage you're going to do as time goes on. So it's definitely the way to go because that is a great way to just increase your damage as time goes on. We also have the Velothi, your mage's amulet. So I might have butchered the name for that. Bloodthirsty weapon and spell damage enchantment on it. Like I said, this is the kind of thing where it's going to take a little bit of grinding. It will take some grinding. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It does take a little bit of effort to get this. But if you're serious about committing to PvE and committing to all this stuff, it is definitely worth it. If you don't have this, probably just use something like Monomyth that can give you major force. But I definitely recommend if you have this, or if you're close to getting this, or if you don't mind putting in a little bit of time and effort to make your build top of the line PvE, this is the way to go. Because what it does is it gives you a line of offensive penetration, which is always good. I'll always take any extra damage you can get. It also increases your damage done to monsters by 15%. You gain minor force at all times, which is huge for your overall damage, especially your crit damage, as we crit so often. Also increases your critical damage done by 10%, and reduces the light attack, your light attack and heavy attack damage by 99%. So basically, you sacrifice your light and heavy attack damage for a bunch of critical damage. And that's why we use this, because it is incredibly strong. You have 60% crit percentage on here, so that's why you use this. It's so unbelievably strong. Also, we're using Deadly Daggers. Our main hand is going to be Nirnhoned with a flame damage enchantment on it. Our offhand is going to be Precise with a poison damage enchantment on it. That way you're using daggers because it increases your overall critical percentage. And we don't really need to go any more into critical damage, because I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to the cap at this point, between being Khajiit, between Shadow, between Velothi and everything. I'm pretty sure we're pretty close to crit cap. Plus, we're also using Fighting Finesse as well, so that's an extra little bit as well. And then back bar, this is where I kind of feel like I stray a little bit from your typical builds. I really like Black Rose Perfected Daggers. Both are going to be infused. One's going to be a physical damage enchantment on it. The other one is going to be an Oblivion damage enchantment on it. I don't really see the need to use... I don't know why I have Oblivion on here. I'd probably use like a Restore Stamina on the second one as well, or Restore Magic or something like that. But, it is what it is. I don't think the enchantments are like really that helpful and like really like that necessary at the end of the day. I definitely think it's good, but I would probably take off the Oblivion one. I don't know why I have that on now that I look at it. So, we're also going to use, for our subclassing skills, we're going to be using Arcanist, Herald of the Tome. We're going to be using Templar, Dawn's Wrath. And we're going to be using Nightblade Assassination. It's pretty meta. That's pretty much as meta as it gets, I'm pretty sure. But again, I haven't watched any build videos for this. I'm not kidding you guys. I have not gone to YouTube and I have not been like, hey, PvE ESO build 2025. I don't do that. So if somebody else has a build like this, it's purely coincidental. I genuinely don't know what other people run. This is just what I run, and this is what some friends told me to do, and what they kind of suggested, more or less. So, moving on. We're going to be using, as our main spammable, we're going to be using Pragmatic Fake Carver. This is going to be your beam, but it does more damage when you get more cruxes. So make sure you don't just spam this right away. Weave in a bunch of tentacle hits over here, but we'll get to that in time. So beam, this is going to be your highest source of damage and your most consistent form of damage. It is highly worth it. I recommend it. Also, Solar Barrage. This is going to be a little bit of a damage over time thing, where you're doing over 22 seconds. I can't even speak right now. Over 22 seconds. And then the reason why I use this is because it increases your damage done with class abilities by 5% as well for 22 seconds. So it increases the damage of your Fake Carver as well, which is why I use it. And then our banner on this build. Banner is incredibly strong in PvE. It is one of those things that you do need to double bar, so you can see we have the same thing on both bars. And I have it on the same skill, that way I don't get it confused and don't accidentally hit the wrong thing. So I never hit my B on my, because this is my B button. I never hit my B button when I'm in PvE unless I activate this. So try not to have this going out in and out of combat. Try and get into the habit of not using this. But what it is, or not clicking this, so that is always active. So what it does is increases your damage done with direct damage by 6%. So that is huge for your overall damage. Increases your weapon and spell damage by for every 1% bonus movement speed up to a max of 450. So basically increases your weapon and spell damage significantly, because if you look at it, we've got Quick Cloak on here, which gives you major expedition. So that's going to make you really fast. And then also you get Minor Heroism, which is going to generate one ultimate every 1.5 seconds. So basically you get a ton of ult as you're just playing the game, as you're just moving on. Minor Heroism is definitely the way to go. So if you're looking at it, we're going to have the shock damage script on here. I forgot how words worked. The Cavalier's Charge script and the Heroism scripts. All right, so for a pseudo spammable, basically you want to do this in between every beam. You're going to be doing Cephaliarch's Flail. And what this does is it activates a crux for you. That's the really most important part of the damage on this, is it activates a crux for you. And when you're using beam, the more cruxes you consume, the more damage you're doing on this thing. So you want to get to your 3 cruxes. So a Cephaliarch's Flare, you're also, as well as that, you're dealing 5% increased damage to enemies that are drenched in abyssal ink, which this hits your enemies with. So this increases your damage done significantly onto enemies that are hit by this. But mostly it is there for activating a crux and applying a crux to your character. And then Radiant Oppression, this is going to be your execute, which it does so much damage when you get to lower HP on your enemies. But also, this activates a lot of magic, so try not to just spam this, because this is a lot of magic that you consume. But that being said, the less health of the enemies have, you are burning through their HP, especially on the higher HP targets. When they're at their low health, you want to use this. You don't really want to use Beam towards the end of the health. You want to use Radiant Oppression. This is the way to go. Also, I have Soul Harvest on our front bar, but I rarely use it. It's really there because while slotted on either bar, anytime you kill an enemy, you gain 10 ultimate. So that's really good. That's increasing your overall ultimate gain so much and significantly that we're definitely using that as often as we can. I'm sorry, we're not using that as often as we can. We're keeping that on our bar because we're going to be using our back bar ultimate more often because it does more damage. But moving on, we're also going to be using Inspired Scholarship. This is going to be your source of major brutality and sorcery, increasing your weapon and spell damage by 20% just by having this slotted. Then once every 3 seconds, it's going to pulse, and then you're going to be doing 3,800 magic damage, and you're also going to be generating a crux if you don't have any. So that's also amazing for your overall damage because that's going to apply cruxes for your Fake Carver. Also, I've got Resolving Vigor on here. I know that's probably controversial to have a little bit of a self-heal on here, but I do want to be self-reliant, so this is kind of our flex spot. If you have any other abilities that you want to put out here, like a dot or something, go for it. But for me, I'm like, you know what? Let's keep Resolving Vigor out here. Let's be able to heal ourselves if we need to, and let's be able to just be self-sufficient because I think that's necessary. Also, I've got Relentless Focus on here. I know this ability got nerfed recently, but I'm pretty cool with it still. It's going to be your source of major prophecy and savagery on both bars, so that's really good. But what you don't want to do is you don't really want to consume this because your light and heavy attacks now generate a stack of Relentless Focus up to 10 times. Fully charged heavy attacks are going to grant 2 stacks. That's good, right? Also, when at 4 or more stacks, you can consume up to 4 of those. Wait, does this not give you... Okay, so you can actually fire these now, and it's fine. I'm used to not using this, and I'm used to just being able to be like, okay, well, this is it's just going to give you extra weapon and spell damage, which is fine. But now it's just going to give you major savagery and prophecy, which is cool. But it seems like it doesn't give you the weapon and spell damage more, which is completely fine. So this is good. Major prophecy, savagery, awesome. Quick Cloak as well. This is going to be what's activating your Black Rose daggers. So this is going to increase your damage done by 6% as well. So make sure you have this active at all times. That way you're getting that 6% increased damage. And then also this is going to be applying major expedition to you. So that's going to also increase your movement speed, which also increases your shocking banner stuff. Also on top of that, it's going to just do a little bit of a pulse around you every 2 seconds, which is, you know, extra damage. And I'll take any extra damage I can get. And then we got Languid Eye, which is going to be your Arcanist ultimate. Basically, it puts a beam down and does a bunch of damage over time. that's the best way I could put it. It's a beam, does damage, and it's great damage too. Comboing that damage with beam damage, amazing sources of damage potential. It's amazing. And then our champion points are as follows. It's going to be Fighting Finesse, Fighting Aura, Wrathful Strikes, and Master at Arms. Our red slottables are Rejuvenation, Celerity, Thrill of the Hunt, and Boundless Vitality. That being said, I was parsing earlier, and I did put in Rejuvenation, and I took out... I forgot which one it was called. It's one of these. This one, Bloody Renewal. So when I wasn't parsing, when I was actually playing the game, I actually would use Bloody Renewal, and it would just give you an extra little bit of stamina. You'd restore stamina whenever you kill an enemy. So it's really good for your overall sustain. Definitely recommend having that in because that's very helpful for just staying alive and keeping your stamina up as high as possible. So When you're not parsing, use that. When you're parsing, use rejuvenation because it helps your overall recovery. And that's the entire build. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I know it's not too much. I know it's kind of one of those things that's kind of on the more simple side, and I really enjoy it. I wanted to put something out here because I think that there are PvPers that do need a little bit of help when it comes to, you know, putting PvE builds together. Because I don't know, I feel like you just want to be accessible, and you want to be able to just play any aspect of the game. And having a build like this opens up those possibilities of being able to enter those doors of those endgame PvE trails. Yes, this isn't going to get you all the way, and I know that, but it's a great start, and it's something that will help you in the long run, I promise you. So let's do a little bit of a parse real quick. Let's it's going to be 3 million health. I don't think I have anything. Let's do yeah, you know what? I'm going to skip. I'm going to do a different thing right here, and I'll show you guys. We'll do a parse real quick, and I'll show you guys exactly how it's done. Now, I do want to start this by saying that I am not the best parser in the world. I just don't really do this that often, but you'll see that, you know, I still can get some pretty high numbers. I think I'll get to at least over 90k on this. So I'm not going to be talking over this because it's going to be a little bit of time. It's 21 mil damage. So we're just going to play some music over this. We're going to have a good time, and then we're going to call this on the video. So guys, as we end this, I just want to say thank you so much for watching the video. If you can do me a giant favor at this point, hit that thumbs up button for me. Do you guys want to see more PvE builds from me in the future? That way I can help you guys. And, you know, I would love to consult some other PvEers to be able to kind of put some builds together. That way I know what I'm talking about. So if you're an endgame PvEer, let me know. I'd love to consult you, and I'd love to talk about that kind of stuff, you know, all that stuff. So I just want to say thank you all for watching, and let's get on with this parse. Thank you so much. All right, and as you can see, I know it's not the most amount, but we still got to 94,000 DPS. I know that a lot of people are like, hey, like, I can parse over 100,000. That's fine. I know that I don't parse that often, and I know that I'm not the best parser, because this is something that I just don't do that often at all. So with 94,000, just by doing this real quick, I'm pretty happy with it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.